We hear about massive global challenges all the time, right? But the real question is, what are we doing to get the next generation ready to actually solve them? Today, we're taking a look at a pretty fascinating new curriculum that aims to do exactly that, to give students the toolkit they need to build a more sustainable future. So why the big push for this change? Well, it all starts with a pretty stark reality. This quote from the curriculum's own documents lays it all out. Things like climate change, the loss of biodiversity, and pollution, these aren't just abstract ideas. They are real, significant risks to our world, and our education system really needs to catch up to that urgency. So, this is the core challenge. Knowing there's a problem is one thing, but actually building the ability to solve it, that's a whole other ballgame. How do you turn all that anxiety about the future into real action? How do we empower young people to actually become the architects of change? All right, so that brings us to our first section, which is all about the why behind this whole thing. It's about recognizing that the planet is at this critical tipping point, and education has to step up in a big way. And the answer they're proposing? It isn't just about making a few small tweaks to the old way of doing things. No, it's about a total transformation, really breaking out of those traditional classroom walls to proactively teach and learn about our relationship with the planet. And the institution that's really spearheading this is the Flying Wings Online School. They're the ones behind this new framework, and they're aiming to put these really ambitious educational ideas into practice for students all over the world. Okay, so what does this new approach actually look like in a classroom? Let's dive in and break down the curriculum itself. What are students really learning, and how's it all put together? Okay, let's start with the nuts and bolts. The course is called Environmental Science and Sustainable Development, and it's aimed right at high school students, grades 9 through 12. It's set up for a full academic year, but, and this is key, it's adaptable. That tells you this isn't just some quick elective. It's a serious, deep dive program. And here's what makes it so different. It's all about an interdisciplinary approach. So what does that mean? It means this isn't just your standard biology or chemistry class. By mixing in social studies, ethics, and policy, the curriculum makes sure students get the whole picture. They see that, environmental problems are always at their core human problems. And this is absolutely crucial. The curriculum isn't just floating out there on its own. It's directly tied to the UN's Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs. Now, if you're not familiar, these are basically a set of 17 global goals, a blueprint really for a better, more sustainable future for everyone. Tying into this gives students a real internationally recognized framework to see how their local actions can connect to a huge worldwide effort. All right, that brings us to the real heart of the course. It's not just about cramming knowledge into students' heads. It's about shaping who they become. It's about forging those future leaders who can actually tackle these massive challenges. And how do they do that? Well, the whole thing is built on 5 core goals. You can think of these as the pillars holding everything up. Not just what students will learn, but what they'll be able to do. So you can really see the journey here. It kicks off with the basics. You've got to understand the fundamental environmental science, right? From there, it moves into applying critical thinking and analyzing all those messy, complex, social, economic, and ethical sides of the issues. Then it pulls in that global SDG framework we talked about, and it all leads to this final step, developing the citizenship and leadership skills to push for real, meaningful change. Okay, we've seen the big goals, but what's the payoff? This last section is all about the results, the real, tangible skills students walk away with. And this really is the key question, isn't it? After a whole year, what can these students actually do? How does all this theory turn into a real-world skill set? Well, the outcomes are all about action. Students won't just know stuff, they'll be able to do stuff. We're talking about collecting and analyzing environmental data, evaluating how humans impact ecosystems, and, this is the big one, proposing sustainable solutions that are actually backed up by scientific reasoning. This is really where the rubber meets the road, turning knowledge into capability. And really, that sentence says it all. The whole point is to take a student from just being a passive observer of all these scary global problems to becoming an active, informed, and capable person who can help build the solutions we all need. And so that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. When you look at everything we've talked about, from scientific literacy to ethics to leadership, what do you think is the single most important skill the next generation needs to build a sustainable world? It's a big question, but it's one these students will be better prepared to answer than ever before.